Hello, it's me, Oscar from Marijuana Garden.
Consider this. Deep beneath the ocean floor, buried in the mud where there is no oxygen to breathe, live some of the most incredible organisms on Earth. These aren't strange sea monsters or giant worms, but something much, much smaller. They are bacteria, and they have a superpower that sounds like it's straight out of a comic book. These amazing microbes can breathe electricity. That's right. Instead of using oxygen like we do, these bacteria have figured out a way to transfer electrons, the tiny particles that make up electricity, to the environment around them. It's a shocking discovery that changes how we think about life itself. These electrifying bacteria, often called electrogenic bacteria, are not just found in one exotic location. They are surprisingly common, thriving in all sorts of oxygen-poor environments. You can find them in the sediment at the bottom of lakes and rivers, in the rich, dark soil of your own backyard, and even within wastewater treatment plants. Basically, any place that is wet, muddy, and lacks oxygen is a potential home for these natural power producers. They have adapted perfectly to these tough conditions, developing a unique survival strategy that allows them to get energy from their surroundings in a way that most other life forms simply cannot. So how do they perform this incredible feat? It all comes down to a process called extracellular electron transfer. Think about how we get energy. We breathe in oxygen, and our bodies use it to break down the food we eat, releasing energy and electrons in the process. These bacteria do something similar, but without the oxygen. They break down their food source, organic matter in the mud or soil, and are left with excess electrons. Since they can't pass these electrons to oxygen, they have to get rid of them somehow. So, they push them outside of their own tiny bodies, essentially exhaling a current of electricity. This process is fundamental to their survival. For them, breathing electricity is just as natural as breathing air is for us. It's their way of completing their metabolic cycle and staying alive. Scientists were amazed when they first discovered this, because it was thought that all life had to conduct its energy processes inside the cell. These bacteria broke that rule, creating tiny electrical connections with their environment. They showed us that the world of microbiology is full of surprises, and that life has found ingenious ways to thrive in even the most challenging places on our planet. It's science that is, quite literally, electrifying. Now you might be wondering, how exactly does a microscopic bacterium push an electric charge outside of itself? It's a great question. These clever microbes have developed some truly remarkable tools to do this. One of the most fascinating structures they use are called microbial nanowires. These are incredibly thin, protein-based filaments that extend from the bacteria's cell surface. They act like tiny biological electrical wires, conducting the electrons away from the bacterium and into the surrounding environment, such as a nearby mineral particle. These nanowires allow a whole community of bacteria to form a living electrical grid. These nanowires are a game changer for bacterial communities. They allow microbes that are buried deep within a clump of sediment, far away from any electron acceptors, to still get rid of their electrons. A bacterium on the inside of the clump can pass its electrons to its neighbor, who passes them to its neighbor, and so on, until the electrons reach the outer edge of the community. It's like a microscopic bucket brigade, but instead of passing buckets of water, they are passing a stream of electrons. This network allows the entire community to work together, sharing the electrical load and surviving as a group. Besides nanowires, some bacteria use another amazing method involving special proteins called cytochromes. These proteins are embedded in the bacterium's outer membrane and are packed with iron atoms, which are great at handling electrons. When a bacterium gets close enough to a mineral or another conductive surface, these outer membrane cytochromes can directly hand off the electrons. It's like a tiny molecular high-five, transferring the electrical charge from the bacterium to the outside world. This direct contact method is very efficient, but requires the bacterium to be right next to whatever it is breathing on. Whether they use long-distance nanowires or up-close cytochromes, these bacteria have mastered the art of electrical engineering on a microscopic scale. They have evolved these sophisticated systems to solve a fundamental problem: how to get rid of electrons in an oxygen-free world. This ability not only allows them to survive, but also to fundamentally change the chemistry of their environment. By moving electrons around, they influence how minerals form and dissolve, playing a vital role in the planet's geochemical cycles. They are nature's own tiny electricians, wiring up the unseen world beneath our feet. This amazing discovery isn't just a cool science fact. It has the potential to change our world in very practical ways. Scientists and engineers are now trying to harness the power of these electricity-producing bacteria to create clean energy and solve environmental problems. The most exciting application is the microbial fuel cell, or MFC. An MFC is essentially a biological battery that uses bacteria as its power source. Inside an MFC, bacteria are given organic waste, like wastewater or agricultural runoff, to eat. As the bacteria break down this waste, they release electrons, just as they would in nature. In a microbial fuel cell, we give these electrons a specific place to go. We place an electrode, a piece of conductive material, into the bacteria's chamber. The bacteria then transfer their electrons to this electrode, creating a steady electrical current. This current can be harnessed to power small devices, like sensors, or potentially be scaled up for larger uses. The best part? The process is incredibly clean. The bacteria's exhaust is just electricity, cleaned water, and harmless carbon dioxide. It's a brilliant way to turn nasty waste into useful energy, tackling two major problems at once. Imagine a wastewater treatment plant that doesn't just consume huge amounts of energy to clean water, but actually produces its own electricity in the process. That's the promise of microbial fuel cells. By integrating this technology, we could make sanitation more sustainable and affordable, especially in remote or developing areas. These systems could treat sewage while simultaneously generating enough power to run the plant's own pumps and monitors. It's a closed-loop system where waste becomes a resource, all thanks to the hard work of our microscopic bacterial friends. Of course, we're not quite there yet. There are still some big challenges to overcome. One of the main hurdles is efficiency. The amount of electricity produced by current microbial fuel cells is still quite low. Scientists are working hard to improve this by breeding more powerful bacterial strains, or by designing better fuel cell materials that can capture electrons more effectively. We also need to make these systems more durable and cost-effective, so they can be used widely. It's a complex engineering puzzle, but the potential rewards are enormous. The journey into the world of electrogenic bacteria is just beginning, and the future looks incredibly bright. While scaling up microbial fuel cells to power our cities is still a long way off, the research is sparking all sorts of new ideas. Scientists are exploring ways to use these bacteria, not just for energy, but to create valuable chemicals, a process called microbial electrosynthesis. By reversing the process, giving bacteria electricity instead of taking it, we might be able to get them to produce biofuels, bioplastics, or other useful compounds from carbon dioxide. It's like turning pollution into products. The potential applications are truly mind-boggling and stretch far beyond energy and waste treatment. These bacteria could be used to create biosensors that can detect pollutants in soil or water by measuring changes in their electrical activity. They could also be used in a process called bioremediation, where they are deployed to clean up contaminated sites. For example, they could help break down toxic petroleum spills or remove heavy metals from groundwater by using the pollutants as part of their electrical breathing process. These tiny organisms could become our partners in restoring damaged ecosystems. The challenges ahead are real. Improving efficiency, lowering costs, and ensuring long-term stability are key goals for researchers. We need to learn more about the fundamental biology of these bacteria. How do they build their nanowires? Which species are the most powerful electron producers? How can we create the perfect environment for them to thrive in an engineered system? Answering these questions requires collaboration between microbiologists, engineers, chemists, and material scientists. It's a team effort to unlock the full potential of these natural electrical wonders. In the end, the discovery of bacteria that breathe electricity is a powerful reminder of the endless ingenuity of nature. It shows us that there are sustainable solutions to some of our biggest challenges hidden all around us, even in a humble scoop of mud. As we continue to explore this electrifying frontier, we are not just learning about bacteria. We are learning new ways to build a cleaner, more sustainable future for our planet. The power is there, waiting to be harnessed. All we have to do is listen to what these tiny organisms have been trying to tell us all along. Consider that.
Thank you.